Bonjour, in this video I'm going to be explaining what is an attestation fiscale and where you can get it. So there isn't a day or week going by where somebody asks me, Valerie, is it time to complete the French income tax yet? It's like, Valerie, are we there yet? I know that you're keen to declare your taxes, especially if you have a visa or carte de séjour that you know you'll have to renew soon. You want all your tax to be declared. But I'm afraid that as I'm recording this video, which is in February, and the answer will be the same for the first quarter, is the answer is no, it's too early. French income tax season is in May, and basically we usually have until the 1st or 2nd of June to complete the declaration, but it's in May that we will be declaring the income that we earned the previous year. So in May 2023, we'll be declaring the income that we've earned in 2022. In May 2024, we'll be declaring the income that we've earned in 2023. So if you want more tips on how to complete your French income tax form, it's one of the topics that I always cover in my newsletter, so make sure you subscribe. I'll add the link in the comment. I will give you some tips on how to complete your French income tax form for your business. But in the meantime, if you are a micro entrepreneur and you had a business last year, even if it was just for a few months, there's one thing that you can do, hooray! And it is to download your Attestation Fiscale. If you have a French incorporated business, don't worry, you have an accountant, the accountant will manage this, and it's quite different, so just leave it to your accountant. So in this video, I'm going to be explaining what is an Attestation Fiscale, what you will be using it for, and I'm going to show you for my entrepreneur how to go and get it so you can put it on your record. So let's get started. What is an attestation fiscale? Well, it sounds pretty heavy when you use that kind of term. So basically you're French C1 or C2 level, like advanced French speaker. Attestation fiscale is basically URSSAF confirming how much sales you've made the previous year. They've added all the turnover declaration that you've done on a monthly or quarterly basis, and they're confirming what they have on your record. So basically, when you download that Attestation Fiscale, it should be the same. If you add up all the declarations you made, you should be arriving at the same amount. And this is your official sales, from which we can actually guess what is your business income. As a reminder, as a micro entrepreneur, you declare your sales, but your sales is not income because you have some running expenses, but we take a standard rebate. So if we talk to a bank manager, if he looks at your Attestation Fiscale, the bank manager would apply a standard rebate to guess what your business income is, and basically if you're profession libérale, they apply a rebate of 30%, 34%. If you're providing some manual services, they would apply a rebate of 50%, and if you're buying to resell, they would apply a rebate of 71%. So for instance, if I take the example of someone working as a consultant, community manager, making some sales for 40,000 euros last year, whether it's URSSAF, the tax office, or a bank manager, they would assume that your business has about 34% of running expenses and the remaining is your business income. So for sales of 40,000, they would assume that your business income is 26,400 euros. So that is what an attestation fiscale is. It basically summarizes how much sales you've made over the previous year, and I will show you in the example later. On that table, it shows the line, it shows 3 or 4 lines of activities. It shows what is profession libérale, what is buy to resell, what is manual services, so they can themselves calculate the rebate according to the type of activity. What do you use the Attestation Fiscale for? Well, you can guess it from the example that I've just given you before. The Attestation Fiscale, we're going to be using it to assess what is your business income. In France, the most official paper in order to prove your income would actually be the avis d'imposition sur le revenu. Once you've completed the French income tax form, they give you an attestation to confirm what was your official income in France. But you need to complete that first French income tax to get it, so it's too early. But in the meantime, the Attestation Fiscale enables us, from URSSAF, enables us to actually assess what is your business income. So you would be using, for instance, that Attestation Fiscale. If you want to apply for a bank loan to buy a house, flat, car, showing this document to the bank manager would show basically how much you've earned. If you request some financial help, some benefits, that would be also a way to show the income that you've had. And if you want to renew your visa or carte de séjour, again, and you haven't completed the French income tax form, that would be the most official document to prove the income that you've earned in France. And basically, because you've declared it to URSSAF, we also know that you've paid some social charges on this. When you haven't completed your French income tax form, basically this attestation fiscale is the closest that you will get from any official proof of income. Now, let me show you where you're going to be going to get this attestation fiscale so you can download it and save it on your computer or on the paper file. I'm now going to be showing you where you're going to go onto your autoentrepreneur.ursaf.fr account in order to download a copy of that attestation fiscale so you can keep it for later on, for May, when it will be the time for French income tax form. For now, that's the only thing you have to do. You just have to go and get a copy and file it somewhere on your paper folder or in your drive so it stays there. So I'm logged in into someone's account and you can recognize the screen. I'm just going to go further down here and you have mes documents, historique de mes déclarations, and you have mes attestations. So that's the one we want to have because that's where you get some attestations. And we're going to have a choice for, so in this particular account, you can see that this person has downloaded quite a few attestations. But basically in the drop-down menu, there's a few which are interesting, and I'm going to explain what they are before I show you the attestation fiscale. So attestation de vigilance. So this one is if you're working with public services and you are answering to a tender, you have to show that you are up to date with taxes, and they ask for a copy of this attestation de vigilance, and it basically means that you are up to date with your taxes, you've paid your social charges, you've paid your taxes or your VAT or your business taxes, and you can't get a yes to a public tender if you're not up to date with taxes. So basically this is what the attestation de vigilance is. If you're working B2B or B2C, usually you never need this one. Attestation fiscale is the one that we're going to be looking at, which basically confirms the sales that you've made over the previous calendar year. So they're adding up the turnover you've declared every month or every quarter. And this is useful if, for instance, you haven't had the time to get your quarterly declaration, but you need to send a visa application or visa renewal, and you want to show the exact income that you've done. That would be a way to do so, as well as if you want to borrow some money from the bank, for instance, to buy a car, or a flat, or a house, and they want to have a confirmation of your income, and you haven't completed a French income tax form, they would consider this as being the most accurate document or the most official document to prove your income for the previous year. So that's a great one to have. Attestation de chiffre d'affaires d'encours, same thing. If you have to renew your visa or carte de séjour, and for instance, you went for quarterly declaration, so you have some time missing, or you can't provide the attestation fiscale, or if you want to borrow some money to buy a house, a flat, or a car, attestation de chiffre d'affaires en cours shows how much turnover you've declared so far for the year that we are in. So at least it's another official way to say, well, last year the official turnover was so much, and this year so far I've declared so much. It's a way to prove officially your income as a micro entrepreneur. And the last one is just to confirm that you've paid your taxes towards the training fund. So the one we're looking at is attestation fiscale. So we just click on that and click on validate, and usually it's done automatically, and so it just appears here on the right hand side. Sometimes it says no, it says refusé. It could be because it's too early and they can't do it yet. So for instance, if you try to get the attestation fiscale and it's still early in January, they can't produce it yet because they haven't got all the numbers technically. So here we're just going to click on télécharger mon attestation. Here's the attestation fiscale. So we have attestation fiscale 2022 for micro entrepreneur, so somebody under régime micro-social. And you have the full details, the person's name, social security number, SIRET number, the account number with URSSAF, and here you have the split of the income. So that's somebody providing intellectual services, BNC, so otherwise you would say vente de marchandises, BIC, prestation de service, BIC, so prestation de service, BIC is when you're providing manual services, and you're registered with, you're relating to chambre de commerce or chambre de métier. For instance, if you were a plumber, carpenter, if you were selling goods online or e-commerce or shop, or if you are providing services such as, for instance, conciergerie services, it would split the different lines. So you might have 2 or 3 lines here with the turnover being summarized in each of them. And basically, you just need to keep a copy of this on your computer or in your files, so that when it's time for the French income tax form, all you'll have to do is to take that number here and add it into your French income tax form. There'll be a special form for micro entrepreneurs, 2042C or C Pro, and you'll be adding that number. And that's why it's important here when they say prestation BNC or prestation BIC, because that will show you the cell that you will have to use for your declaration. So that's it. All you have to do for now is download a copy of this, and you can just rest for now. Nothing else to do. You're gonna be just adding to your calendar if you want to be safe. Add it to your calendar in May to book some time to download the French income tax form declaration papers so that you can complete them. But there's nothing else for you to do in the meantime.